Right, so let's continue as we look at now question number 3. It says that figure 3.1 shows two identical steel springs of length 250 millimeters suspended vertically side by side from a fixed support. That's a fixed support. A 400 Newton weight is attached to the ends of the spring as shown. The length of each spring increases to 350 millimeters. So you can see these are the two springs they have attached, a weight or a force of 40 newtons. Then A says determine the extension of the spring. Now remember the initial length of the spring was 250, then each of them increased after attaching this weight to 350. So extension is equal to the final length minus the initial length. So the final length was 350 millimeters minus the initial, which was 250 millimeters. So if you look at that, we can say that if we subtract that, that is going to give you 100 millimeters. If you didn't want that, you can simply remember what we said. You can convert that to meters by simply dividing by 1000, because 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeters from our previous one. So you can divide this by 1000, that will give you 0.1 meters. So it could have either been 100 millimeter, or if you were given in millimeter, 0.1 meter if you are given in meter. Then determine the tension in each in each spring. So for us to get the tension, this is actually going to be divided. This weight is actually carried, distributed equally. If the springs are arranged like this, it means it will be shared equally. So you just take 40 newtons and you divide by 2, which is equal to 20 newtons. So the tension or the force in this spring is 20, even that one is 20. When you add, that gives you a 40, and that's what you needed to do there. Then the spring constant for each spring. So remember from Hooke's law that force is equal to Ke. So the spring constant K is equal to the force divided by the extension. So do we know the force? Yes, it is 20 newtons divided by the extension 0.1 meter. I want to express in the SI unit. So therefore it will be 20 divided by 0.1. That will give me a 200 Newton per meter. Or if you wanted, you could have said it is 200 Newton, minus 1 there. That's what you could have said. But this is actually the spring constant. Don't forget the units. Units are very important, in physics. They help to identify the physical quantity you're talking about. B, state two everyday application of moment. There are so many. From maybe we can talk about a seesaw. I can also talk about, opening a door using a doorknob. So opening a door using a doorknob. Also, using a winch or spanner to turn a nut. You could have actually talked about that. Or you could have talked about using a bottle opener. So when you want to open a bottle, so there are so many everyday applications of moments that you could have talked about. Let's move on to C for this question. It says if the 40 Newton load drops and falls to the ground through a distance of 1.5 meters, calculate the loss in gravitational potential energy of the load before impact with the ground. So remember, they have told us in this case, if it falls through a height of 1.5 meters, we know of course that gravity, if possible, 10 newtons per kg. Yeah, but they have given us the force of 40 newtons. So remember, loss in potential energy is equal to mass gravity times height. But since you have been given the force, it means, so we can say, but our force here will be equal to mg. So mg will be represented by force, because they have given us a force, times the height through which it fell. So the force is actually 40 newtons, then the height through which it fell, it's 1.5 meters. So when we multiply 40 multiplied by 1.5, that is going to give us 60 joules. Therefore, I can simply say that the loss in potential energy is 60 joules. So this is what you needed to do. All right, hopefully you are getting the concept. In my next discussion, we are going to actually look at question number 4. So watch out for question number 4 there.